All right. Good morning, everybody. And, hi, Elbow. How's it going? Today, we'll be playing this list of Modern Green Tron in the Modern Super Qualifier. Hopefully we do well. Sorry, I'm just getting everything sorted. This is the last list I played on camera. I apologize, I haven't been playing a lot of Green Tron content. I know some people really want to see it, but I've been really enjoying brewing with coffers, trying out stuff that Trellin is doing, trying out memes. I've not, I have a lot of stuff, like, as you can see on the left side here, I have, like, tons of versions of coffers, because I've just been enjoying it so much. A lot of them I haven't even played on camera, because I don't think they're good, but I've gotten a few ideas that are pretty fun. And is it hard to play Force without Yavimaya? Oh yeah, that's right, actually. Crap. I don't know if I can get back in time. That third Force should actually be a third Wilt. Force is necessary regardless without Yavimaya, but that should actually be a Wilt. Should be three Wilts, 2 Forces. But it's not terrible. It's just like slightly less than optimized, and I didn't notice. But yes, I agree that not having Yavimaya does make Force slightly harder to cast. D-Slayer Tarek, thank you for so much for resubscribing. Wow, I am not collected this morning. Tarek, thank you for resubscribing. That's 18 months. Much appreciated. It's not my birthday, but thanks anyway. And D-Slayer, thank you for resubscribing. It's 10 months. Awesome. But I figured since I played coffers in a couple of large tournaments, I'd at least try and give Tron a fair shot, since coffers is still missing something, and I have a few ideas on how I'm going to fix it, but I've got to try them yet. So it's not like there's no real optimized coffers list yet, and there's multiple ways you can take the deck list, none of which are technically correct. They're all fun though. Whereas Tron's pretty well optimized, and I know how to play it, so I'm going to be playing Tron in a large tournament and see what happens. I think a lot of it's going to come down to mulligan luck here. A lot of people are saying Tron is worse after the Lurrus banning. I'm not entirely convinced that's the case. People were hoping. I don't think this is the case, but people were hoping that like mid-range was going to get better after Lurrus was banned. But I think that was optimistic, because all of the 1, 0, and 2 mana cards and their payoffs are still legal, and a lot of them you can still just jam in a deck. Like banning Lurrus out of those decks just enables them to play a couple of good 3 mana cards, and it does stop them from having the infinite Mishra's Bauble free Phyrexian Arena effect like late game, which is pretty huge because it means that there's actually a downside to playing those decks, which is you have an amazing early game, a decent mid game, and then a terrible late game because you run out of cards. But the odds are, they're going to try and kill you before then. So I think the format did technically slow down a little bit because people are playing slightly slower decks. But like Murktide, Death Shadow, all of those are still around. Like banning Lurrus did not ban those decks or anything like that. So I'm hoping Tron's matchups got a little bit better. I'm kind of expecting we're going to see some Tron hate. We might run into coffers. I have been playing against a lot of people who are playing coffers. We have 2 Ulamogs in the main, which are Ceaseless Hunger, and 2 Ulamog the Infinite Gyres in the side. Basically for mill or control, we can bring in like extra endgame. Let's see, round 1 starts now. Glad I clicked over it this time. But I've been playing against a lot of people playing coffers, and it's like, you dare use my own spells against me? I've actually beaten most of them. Because it's like, I know their deck better than they do. It's really fun. I've not been able to beat them every time, of course, because like obviously there's times where they get lucky, or times where I get unlucky, or times where I've not gotten really outplayed, but I have seen a couple of jank cards that I tried that are not common in the list, so people are trying out interesting stuff for themselves. Anyway, opponent is a Yorion deck. We're going to mulligan this hand because it doesn't do anything. Gosh, this hand is really slow. We're going 5. Perfect. Natural Tron, Sanctum of Ugin. We have to put 2 cards back. I think we're going to put back Sanctum of Ugin and Expedition Map. And we're just going to rely on Ancient Stirrings to try to hit a threat here. Opponent starts Windswept Teeth. Okay. We did draw Karn, Great Creator. That's pretty good. So let's start Urza's Mine, Chromatic Star. Pass the turn. How's my weekend going? My weekend was going really good. I got a ton of stuff done, but because of my vacation and because of other stuff that happened, I had a bunch of, we'll call them unexpected last-minute purchases come up, and so money was a little bit tighter. It's fine, though, obviously. Porter is walking away with the blanket still attached to him. It's funny. I tucked him in at the beginning of the stream, but I don't think he wants to be down here. Anyway, yeah, no, so, like, finances were a little bit tighter. And, of course, yesterday I finally got my car cleaned after the trip that I took. And there's a massive, massive scratch on my right rear fender, and I'm super pissed about it. Assuming it's 4-color Omnath, they should have only Magus, maybe Spreading Seas and Counterspell. That makes sense. I am actually going to run this out because I don't need to use Star yet. And if my opponent does have Spreading Seas, it would make sense for us to Ancient Stirrings for the Tron land we don't have. Whereas next turn we're just going to play Karn, unless they play Spreading Seas. Okay. Walking Ballista is a little bit of Teferi insurance. So, like, if they try and down-tick on Star, we can ping Teferi, they have nothing, and then we have a Karn. I was also trying to bait a counterspell with that, because you never really know what kind of answer your opponent has. So, okay, it is an Ice Fang Quaddle. They draw a card. Maybe Stirrings was better bait. Possibly, but I think I would rather save it for... Like, because I could play Karn next turn, then Stirring. But if they do Spreading Seas me here, I'll need to Stirrings to try and find the land that I'm missing. Oh yeah, that's true. They do play Fury, don't they? Okay. Opponent goes to combat, does not attack. They're stuck on 2 mana. Okay, so they're going to Boseiju Power Plant to take me off of Tron. Do we crack Star on upkeep because we're getting a forest? I don't have anything... No, I don't think we do. Okay. Let's go get a forest. Yeah. Okay, go to our main. Ancient Stirrings. There's a power plant. Rest to the bottom. Play power plant. Pass the turn. So opponent missed a land drop to Assassin's Trophy a land. I'm not sure that's good, especially now that they're tapping out. Opponent attacks us for 1. That's fine. Now, they could have Force, and Force would be bad. Why fetching for a basic when I have no lands in hand? Yeah, that's... I mean, I think it's kind of crazy that they did that. So, let's play Great Creator. Okay, Great Creator does not get countered. So, let's go ahead and Wish. I could get Walking Ballista and just take out their lands. Or take out their only threats and then start attacking. I think Coating is just going to be stronger, though. Simply because we do have a Walking Ballista. Now, on my opponent's upkeep, I'm going to shut off their Forest and not their blue source, because they have more cards that rely on them being able to have green mana than they do blue mana. So opponent goes to combat. Attack Karn for 2. They can't play Renin 6 and Ping. So unless they have, like, a ninja, I don't think they can actually kill Karn, so it's better for us to keep Ballista here. Okay, we just can't Wish again. We untap, we draw Relic. Okay, let's blow up a forest. Let's draw a card. Oh, perfect. That actually works out. Play Relic. Play Karn. Nuke their other land. And that should be game. So, opponent was missing land drops, but I think this is the most punishment we can do for them. Ping a 1/1. Okay, they play a Steam Vents tapped. We untap and draw another Karn. Let's nuke a land. Take a card from their hand. We get a Prismatic Ending. Play Karn. Keep the new one. Wish, and let's get Ballista. I could have also gotten Trinisphere here. That may have actually been better. Let's just kill this now. Pass the turn. Okay. Opponent plays a Flooded Strand, we untap. We draw Sylvan Scrying. Wish. Opponent cracks Flooded Strand. This could be a Bolt. They get a basic Plains. Yeah. Trinisphere. I could cast Sylvan Scrying first, but I'd rather do that. Take out their land. I can Sylvan Scrying after the fact. It's not that big of a deal. Get another tower. I mean, if opponent wants to play this out, we can just make them play it out, I guess. I don't think they can beat us with anything. Because, like, the only way that they can get rid of that Trinisphere with less than 3 mana is Boseiju. And they're never going to have more than 1 mana. So they're either doing this to get information, or they just... I don't know. Force of restart the game. I don't know, I guess I could technically disconnect, right? They will have 3 or 4 Boseijus in game 2. I think they actually play 4 in the main deck, they're just a Yorion deck, right? I mean, they're dead next turn. Because they know me and I punt a lot. You know what? That's actually fair. Okay, so they can march here. But they cannot Prismatic Ending, which is, I think, what they were trying to do. Okay. Well, opponent fought valiantly, but they had both hands and feet tied behind their back, so I'm not sure how they were going to win. Probably gnawing at my ankles. Okay. That must have been their plan, but they didn't want to give up, so Wilts and Forces in for sure. Versus Yorion. So they're going to flicker stuff. They're going to have Spreading Seas. They're going to play Planeswalkers. They have like a bunch of enchantments that ramp them. So probably I'm going to cut 2 Oblivion Stone, 1 Wurmcoil Engine. And, well, they play like... The enchantments that they play don't matter, really, except for Spreading Seas. But they do play, like, Abundant Growth and Utopia Sprawl, usually. So, like, there's some chance we could, like, Stone Rain them with a Naturalize. I think the Ballistas stay in. I could cut the Relics. I don't think they play, like, Murktides or anything like that. They do play Eternal Witnesses. So, they do play Eternal Witnesses, and they play... Renin 6, so Relic still has some game, and does cycle, so it's not bad. But I gotta cut something. Maybe we do cut a Walking Ballista. And I do still want Wurmcoil, because I'm like 99% sure my opponent plays Force of Negation. I gotta cut 1 card, though. Alright, we're going down to 1 Walking Ballista. I just can't think of what else to cut. I want a Wurmcoil Engine in the main. Mine, Tower, Mine... with Sphere Stirrings. This isn't bad. You would have cut 1 Force. Yeah, maybe I didn't need to bring in all 3 Forces. I think if it was a Wilt, it would have been better, and I meant to do that, but I didn't have time prior to games, because I didn't catch it until then. That was something I wanted to do based on the... Okay, I mean, Natural Tron's just fine and dandy. So, lead on mine, pass the turn. Opponent is attacking first. They hit Force of Vigor. They did not keep a 1-lander. Okay. We untap and draw Stirrings. So, sack for green. We get a Sylvan Scrying. Let's Ancient Stirrings. Well, Ugin's a threat, but he's slow. I don't think we really have an option, though. I could take a Star and then maybe try to cast this other Stirrings, but I'm kind of banking on a Boseiju happening. And if they do Boseiju us and don't kill us or lock us out of the game... what's going to end up happening is we're going to have 8 mana anyway when we assemble Tron. So I guess, like, the concern is, like, Boseiju, untap, Ren, Boseiju again. Okay, Eladamri's Call. Yeah, these zones are, like, weird shaped now. Not sure why. Okay, they get an Ice Fang Quaddle. They untap. They go to combat. They hit us for 2. We go down to 16. They exile our Wurmcoil Engine. Or should I say they put it in our Wishboard. They crack a Scalding Tarn. They're at 5 mana. They get an island. This could be Blood Moon. Magus of the Moon. Okay. So Magus of the Moon is annoying, and I did take out my most of my Walking Ballistas. So we are going to play Tower and O-Stone. Okay, O-Stone resolves. Opponent could flash in Ice Fang off of their treasure mana, but they're not going to do that. I really think it's interesting that like a 4 or 5 color deck is actually playing Magus. I know they have like decent fixing to get around the Blood Moon effect. Because, like, they have the treasure tokens, they have abundant growth, and a few other things, but I don't know. It seems so greedy. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I do appreciate it. This is game 2. We got game 1. Okay, there's the Renin 6. They uptick Renin 6. We untap, we draw a Sylvan Scrying. So, play a Mine, play a Star. We do need to get to 5 mana. No worries. I do appreciate you tuning in. So, I can Ancient Stirrings to try and guarantee it, or I can Sylvan Scrying and guarantee it. I do not want to grab a basic, though, if I Sylvan Scrying. I don't need to... Probably won't need to wilt anything. Probably. Okay, let's try this. Only thing I wasn't playing around there was a Spell Pierce, and I'm not sure they would have it. I guess we start going for redundant Tron lands at this point. Okay, pass the turn. So they probably have an answer to Oblivion Stone. It's probably a Teferi bounce. Okay. Them playing Ice Fang tells me they may not have an immediate answer. They're looking for one. They could have Boseiju. Yes, Boseiju would do it. They would have to do it before my main phase. Okay, they attack us for 5. We go to 7. They get a treasure. They exile an Urza's Tower. They play a Windswept Teeth. If they sack Sphere, they're desperate for an answer. Okay, so they have Prismatic Ending. That's probably game because I took out the Ballistas. I did not expect them to be as creature heavy as they are. So that would be my bad. Karn... Karn's too late to do anything. Okay, yeah, Ballista's coming back in. Definitely dropping Force of Vigor, possibly 2. Yeah, I think we cut 2 Force of Vigors and we'll bring 2 Ballistas back in, leave 1 in the Wishboard. I don't like bringing them all in. And Oblivion Stone is a lot worse because of Boseiju, so I'm fine with just 1 in the main deck. Do I want my other Wurmcoil Engine back in the main? I don't think so. Let's try like this. Us being on the play is once again a huge advantage, provided, of course, we do anything fast. This hand's not terrible, but we can definitely do better. We can still do better. It does technically ramp with Boseiju, yes. It's not great. I don't want to go to 4. So we are going to put back Sanctum and Tower. And we got to start Stirrings here. This is going to be turn 4 Tron if we ever get there. So get an Urza's Mine, dump the rest of our towers to the bottom of the deck. There are 3 Urza's Tower on the bottom of our deck right now, so if we try and draw it without shuffling, we're going to have a bad time. Okay, opponent starts Misty Rainforest, Abundant Growths. We untap. We draw a Sylvan Scrying, play Sylvan Scrying, get Power Plant, pass the turn. Opponent going to Boseiju. Yeah, if they do, like, that shuffles and we should be fine then. If they had Boseiju Tower and we needed to draw it or something. Right now we're just looking for a threat. If we get Spreading Seized, okay, Renin 6. Opponent picks up Misty. We untap, we draw Karn. Karn's fine. I don't think I want to Sylvan Scrying. I think we're just going to wait and leave up Wilt. If opponent plays Magus, we can still play Karn. Okay, they crack Flooded Strand. 4 Plains. Pick up Flooded Strand, and they pass. I'm going to cycle Wilt. Okay, we get a Star. Opponent has to discard. We draw Karn. Assemble Tron. Play Karn. They have a counter. Okay, play Karn. The old double threat. Wow! Alright. That's pretty good. Opponent's got that much. We were fairly well insulated. So, opponent picks up Flooded Strand. Puts Yorion in their hand. Okay, we untap. We draw another tower. So, Star. Hey, Freebird. Also, Mask of Illusion, Freebird, welcome. Good to see you. Cycle Star. Alright. Opponent wants to top deck, I can top deck too. Trinisphere is nice. So Trinisphere kind of protects us. Because it forces them to play fairly for a bit. It's probably Coating here is what I should get, because that shuts off their mana, and then I can get, like, Sundering Titan next turn. Or I could play Wurmcoil out now, that's true. And they would have a tough time answering Wurmcoil. Because, like, opponent is setting up, like, they can play Yorion. Wurmcoil only gets answered by Solitude pitching Yorion here, which they do play, I'm almost certain. But does that matter? Coating plays around Solitude, and it can stop them from playing Yorion unless they have Prismatic Ending, and they will have a land. If they have Prismatic Ending, we're toast. So I can play around Prismatic Ending, or I can play around Solitude. I could just grab Titan, and then they would have to have Boseiju. Ren and 6 ulting is not that big of a deal if we play Sundering Titan. The problem is I need to play something now while they're tapped out because they use their Force. I think I'm going to go Coating. Okay. I'm not actually going to cast Scrying because there's a chance that they do have Boseiju, and I want to be prepared for that. So, alright. I got to shut off their Rainbow mana. I want to shut off Ren and 6, but I couldn't play around everything they could have. Like, they could have 4 or 5 different answers between Fury, Prismatic Ending, possibly March, Solitude. Like, there's only so many things I can play around. And I have to pick one. I have to try and pick the thing that limits them the most. And Coating presents a threat immediately. It was something I could play immediately. So, okay, it's ending. That's really bad. I should have grabbed Titan if I wanted to play around ending, I should have grabbed Titan. Because I can exile Karn. That's 3 Karns down. Coating is now useless. Okay, we untap. We draw Expedition map. So play map. Crack map. Now we're going to have to deal with Ren and 6. I could just get redundant Tron lands. Oh, that's right. You know what? I do need to get rid of that Ren and 6. Blast Zone, we can't tick up fast enough. It ults next turn. So we actually do need to hit Boseiju. And this can't be countered. Doing this on their upkeep is probably better, but this stops them from having, like, alt Ren and 6 into Time Warp, win the game. Like, thank you for calling that out, Mask of Illusion, because that's not actually a line that I take all the time. Like, I haven't played a lot with Boseiju and Tron, so I kind of forget that it exists because it hasn't been around that long. Should have done it on their upkeep, but I don't know. Okay, they play Omnath. Yeah, that is what I was worried about. Like, they could just retrace Force of Negation or retrace Counterspell infinitely, and we would be in huge trouble. Omnath is a problem. Like, we have answers. We can get an Ugin. We can get, tons of stuff, but we gotta find it. I was hoping we would have stuck something a little bit better. So, reevaluating my choice on the Karn downtick, getting Liquimetal Coating while having the land tutors was way stronger than the other line, so I kind of inadvertently bumbled my way into the right line there. Not going to claim that was planned, so... But it gets back Omnath and Abundant Growth. Hey, Six Sigma, how's it going? We're 1-1, and things are looking somewhat bleak. That's not good. So opponent is going to have a full grip plus 2 active threats. We are going to Sylvan Scrying into mine. I'm not going to show them that I'm holding the 3rd forest. If they have another Boseiju, they're just going to use it. I'm doing pretty good. I don't really have anything to complain about, except for the massive scratch in my car fender that I found that would require me to get that body panel repainted to get rid of it. But that's the only thing I have to complain about. So, bad thing here, we're holding our 3rd forest. And now we're going to be stuck on 6 mana or less the rest of the game. It's not Boseiju that beat us either. It's Counterspell, Force of Negation in the same turn. I can't believe they had that. I mean, like, okay. Magus of the Moon? Yeah, them answering 3 out of 3 of our Karns killed us, basically. It is, you would think, that with an additional 20, or what is that, 33% increase in deck size, you would think that they would be less consistent than they are, and it's frustrating that that's the case. If we'd wished for Wurmcoil, they would have had one more threat to answer. They also would have alted Ren and 6 and had infinite counter spells. So, like, while I would have had a 6/6, all it would have taken was for them to have had... yeah, you're a little late there, Ulamog, unfortunately. Yeah, we're dead. We are dead. Ren had 7 when I wished. No, you're right. Ren had 6 counters. So, maybe ultimately, in hindsight, Wurmcoil Engine would have been the play. I think had I noticed that I was actually... I think had I noticed the Boseiju line, I still would have taken... I don't know. It's just how my hair is laying. I think had I noticed the Boseiju in my deck, like, actually... and thought about that line, I still would have gone for coating. So I would have played exactly the same had I had the correct information. But like I said, at that point in the game, opponent could have had Solitude, Prismatic Ending, possibly March, Fury... like Teferi Bounce, or... I mean, they could have had just, like, Lightning Bolt. So, depending on what we took, we could only play around, like, at most 1.5 of those things. So, the problem was our opponent had Counterspell, tapped out, and then had Force for double Karn in the same turn. So, looks like you're going a separate head out of your right side. If you considered being good-looking, wow. Brutal. There, like, so, D-Slayer, there's still a correct decision. Like, there's no perfect decision, is what you're trying to say. There's no perfect decision to beat our opponent there. But there is definitely a correct decision. And evaluating that, like, further... the way that you evaluate a decision like that is you think about what's most powerful given the board state. And that's a good option. I think that's what most, like, new players to the deck would do. And I think that's reasonable. Then, like, the next level of that decision is what are they most likely to have? And I think I should have thought about Prismatic Ending. Because I should have thought it was Prismatic Ending because they hadn't played one that game. There's 4 in the deck. Solitude is not that big of a problem because they're going to pitch 2 cards to get it. Although, if we played, like, Wurmcoil or we played Ballista and they Solituded, we would have nothing. I think getting an additional threat might have been the better line. So, whether or not that's a punt, I'll leave that up to you guys. I'm going to stop the recording, and I'm gonna fiddle with the stream settings here for a second, and then I'll either play Vampire Survivors or answer questions or whatever you guys want to hear. So, alrighty, round 2. This is not a good keep.
Happy birthday!
Okay, this will be a mulligan, as will this. We're going to 4. Alright, let's do it. Opponent mulligan 6, and they started at Ganjo into Esper Sentinel. If this is Hammer, we're going to have a bad time. There's a Karn. Play a Tower, play a Star. Opponent gets to draw. Undid their mulligan. Schlapko, thank you for following. Opponent plays an Urza's Saga. And Stoneforge Mystic. It's probably going to go get a Hammer. Sword of Fire and Ice, okay. So this may not be Hammer, or they might already have one. Sack for green, let's see what we draw. Sylvan Scrying. Ancient Stirrings. Not casting the actual land tutor here, because reasons. Wow, none of these are good. I probably should have cast the land tutor, holy crap. I guess Ballista. Play map. Pass the turn. Just Stoneblade. Fair enough. Okay, opponent hits this for 2. We untap and draw Stirrings. Well, Oh man, I don't want to tutor for a forest. Especially after they get hammer. I'm going to play this out because it says the super qualifier and I should try, but I think the only thing I can do is actually play Ballista. I think I have to miss a land drop in Tron. I took the wrong line, that's for sure. Okay. Opponent makes another construct. Gets a Springleaf Drum. Plays another Ink Moth. The Ancient Stirrings, you mean? Because that's the one I'm talking about. Okay. So, opponent is going to attack us for 8. I am going to chump and ping this Esper Sentinel. Don't really think there's a lot I can do at this point, and I'm probably going to be dead regardless. There's a mine. There's no way we aren't dead. So we'll go get Power Plant, and then I don't know, if somehow we don't die to our opponent being able to kill us on board, we top deck Ulamog. I don't know. I should have actually gotten Blast Zone on the off chance I survived, I think. But we're not winning. We're already dead. Right? Okay, yep. There it is. Yeah, maybe they F6 through their turn.
Emotional damage.
Okay, Wilt and Force all the way in. They don't really play that many 0 drops now, do they? Because without... K-Smith, thank you for following. Without Luris, they don't play Bauble anymore, do they? They were 2 9/9s. It was 18. Okay, Ugin's terrible here. So is Karn. Ulamog is a pipe dream. So I guess I do bring in Chalice anyway. Maybe we just cut Karn entirely and max out on Ballistas. Drop a 10-drop. Play like this. Just take out all of our win conditions and play mediocre win conditions. I think we'll keep one Karn in the deck and a Ballista in the side. Alright, we are on the play. We do have Natural Tron into Karn. Well, not Natural Tron, but turn 3 Tron. Mind map. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Flooded Strand. Cracks Flooded Strand. Gets a Hollowed Fountain untapped. Into a Springleaf Drum. Into a Memnite. Into a Pithing Needle on map. Wonderful. Alright, we untap. We draw another useless map. Play Tower. Pass the turn. We're going to cycle Wilt. We could still draw a Power Plant and be fine. Okay, opponent plays Esper Sentinel. Sigarda's Aid. And they got the hammer. Okay, so this is going to come down to drawing power plant, I guess. So if I don't cycle Wilt and I draw a green source, I can Wilt. If I cycle Wilt, I have to draw power plant, play Karn. So I've got 4 green sources in the deck, plus 4 stars, 4 spheres, so total of 12 green sources. If I top deck any of those, I can Wilt and stay alive. And provided my opponent doesn't have a second hammer. If I cycle Wilt and I draw power plant, I can play Karn, and that's literally it. So the correct play is to not cycle Wilt. It also enables Force of Vigor. Alright, well now we have to. It was 1 card deeper. Oh, man. Well, bad beats. Opponent drew their singleton Pithing Needle. I don't actually know if it's a singleton. They might play a couple. Alright. Believers, I'm sorry. But, hammer wins. My diet, Dr. Points! Yeah, exactly. That goes on for way too long. Alright, I'm going to... Alrighty, welcome back to round 3. I can make fancy graphics for those. I can also just like edit it with CSS and stuff. So, what we've got going on now is a mulligan hand, it looks like. I like that, I'm gonna move it. So, we're gonna mulligan. And we're gonna keep. Gonna put back Sylvan Scrying, I think. We are on the draw. Apologies in advance for any recording weirdness, those of you watching on YouTube. What's Assault Loam? Oh, if you were looking at my list of decks, Assault Loam was a Seismic Assault Loam, like red-green control deck that used a bunch of burn. How come I don't cover my hand when I'm streaming? For a large tournament like this, it's not unreasonable to do that. So like if my opponent was like stream sniping or something, but honestly, I think that gives my viewers a very poor experience. And I could stream on a long delay, but it's also the same. So I'm going to work under the assumption that my opponents are honorable, and if they're not, you know, they can live with that, I guess. I have on like 1 or 2 previous streams actually covered my hand, but it didn't. I don't think it made that much of a difference. I was also a lot smaller of a streamer, so I don't think it was really necessary. Okay. Opponent hits us for 2. They exile Karn Great Creator. That's a little bit of a problem if they play it. Although if they tap out and they don't have Force, we can play a big Ballista. Okay, they're not going to play it. Let's go get Power Plant. If it wasn't against the terms of service, I would consider writing a Tron playing bot. I think that would be fun. But that is the kind of thing that would really get you into trouble. So, opponent is playing Murktide. We haven't seen any counter spells from them. Okay, so we have 2 lines we can take here. We can play Walking Ballista, or we can play Karn the Great Creator. If we play Karn the Great Creator, opponent almost certainly counters. Other than the mana advantage Ragavan is providing, he's probably not going to hit anything relevant off the top of our deck. So I'm not necessarily worried about getting hit by Ragavan. I could play Karn, and if he resolves, just wish for Sundering Titan, although that would definitely get countered. The other option is playing Ballista now. If I wait until next turn to play Ballista or play Sundering Titan, I can sack Sanctum and go get Wurmcoil. Karn, then you have mana for Ballista on 1. If I'm playing Karn, I'm not playing Ballista this turn because of Sanctum of Ugin. Because playing Ballista on 8 allows me to sack Sanctum. So I think the play is Karn. I expect he gets countered. Yeah, but they're going to counter something. Like, I have to do a thing. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is play Oblivion Stone. Okay. If this is a second counter spell, that's great. Yep. Fantastic. Pass the turn. Okay. Opponent hits us for 2. They exile Ancient Stirrings. They can Ancient Stirrings to get a land. Okay. Or a Bauble. They get a Bauble. They play Dragon's Rage Channeler. They play Bauble. They're going to Surveil. They put Polluted Delta into the grave. They bauble our top deck. And they play a land. They play a land tapped, so like they could have Archmage's Charm. This could also just be a Murktide. If it's Murktide, Walking Ballista can't get Spell Pierced, which is great. They probably think they're safe because we're not top decking something. We draw Sylvan Scrying, so play Sanctum. Play Ballista on 4. Sack Sanctum. And we're going to get Wurmcoil. No, that's what I'm saying is like Ballista is a thing that can't be spell pierced. So if my opponent left 1 blue mana with the expectation I was going to play a Planeswalker so that they had spell pierce, Ballista can't be spell pierced. So if that was their line, we completely invalidated it. I wasn't saying like, oh, they're going to spell pierce my Ballista or something like that, because that doesn't make any sense. I know you're tired, D-Slayer, but if I misspoke, then you're in the right. Why pinging Ragavan? They may have another in hand. That's fine, I'll ping it too. Okay, Regent attacks us for 6. We take 6. We go to 8. We draw a sphere. So we're going to start with Star. How does the Spell Pierce interaction not work? Spell Pierce is non-creature spells only. It's negate style targeting. So they can't Spell Pierce Ballista. We draw another tower. That's great. So we play our other tower. And what this will allow me to do is I'm not going to Sylvan Scrying. I'm going to cycle my other spheres and stars here, because if I draw an answer to Murktide, I need to use it. If they have a counterspell for Wurmcoil and they draw a... what is it? And they draw a Bolt, we're dead. So I can play another sphere here. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to click Wurmcoil. Alright. Well, now we're screwed. Oh my gosh. You're distracting me. I'm trying to explain myself, and there I am throwing crap away. Oh my god. Where's that lightning bolt? Show it to me! No? Okay. Opponent goes to combat, attacks for 6, go to 2. If they've got it, they're slow rolling it. Problem is, I could have attacked with Wurmcoil had I played it, so... if I play Tower, that gives me 9, 13 mana. I can put 3 counters on this. That's not enough to ping that down. Alright, we get to test out the match loss counter. Oh, no. Okay, Murktide. Oh, I can't believe I did that.
Emotional damage.
Okay, so they do play Blood Moon, which means we need the Wilt and the Force. I'm keeping the Oblivion Stones in. 1 Wurmcoil is going into the Wishboard. Ballista is more important. I gotta cut 4 cards. Relic's too good to cut. Ballista's too good to cut, which means we have to cut Top End or Consistency. Can't believe we still have believers in chat. Oh my god. Get out of here, D-Slayer. You know, Force seems less necessary. I'm actually gonna trim... I'm only gonna bring in 1 Force. I'll bring in the Wilts. Mainly because we do still have Oblivion Stones. Ugin is good because it exiles. Karn is like actually kind of medium, so I'm going to cut a couple of Karns here. And we'll try it like this. Or I'll play first. Sand's awful. Mulligan. Sand is technically better. I mean, I hope we draw one of our other 2 Tron lands if I keep this. Otherwise, we're at 3 out of 4 for Karn. Do I want to go to 5? Our 5s have a potential to be a lot worse or a lot better than this. I'm going to go to 5. Okay, I actually think this is better. Sorry to see you go, Wurmcoil. So start Power Plant, play Star, pass the turn. You know what I could do? If I got a little bit more time together, I could actually make a randomized bingo game and link it up to Twitch through the API. Like, you could open up another browser tab, and it would give it to you and announce winners and stuff in Discord. Yes, it did. Somebody mispronounced bingo, and then Big No became my alternate punt persona. Okay. So opponent draws a card, or they shuffle it away. We draw Karn, cycle for green, get Ballista, Ancient Stirrings. I'm 100% my opponent like Spell Pierces, or not. Tick Tower, rest of the bottom, play Tower. Steven84, thank you for following. Appreciate it a lot. Play Chromatic Sphere, pass the turn. Opponent untaps, plays a Spire Bluff Canal, and passes. We untap, we draw another Power Plant, cycle for green, we get a Mine, play Karn. Yeah, they're fetching for basics. Okay, let's run out a Ballista. If they play Blood Moon, we can still hard play Karn here. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Opponent plays an island. We untap, we draw Expedition Map. So, go to combat, attack for 1. Opponent takes 1. We'll play Power Plant, because that should help us play around Spell Pierce. Play Karn. Okay, they have Archmage's Charm. Play Expedition Map. And I am going to go for a Forest. Pass the turn, just in case. I could put a counter on Ballista. I could have held Expedition Map. That wouldn't have been bad. The problem is, if they have Bolt or Unholy Heat, it only changes my opponent taking 1 damage and nothing else. If this is a Ragavan, we do kill it. It looks like it was a Ragavan, and we would have killed it. Okay, we get an Ancient Stirrings. So start with Ancient Stirrings. There's Boseiju. Boseiju deals with any Blood Moon shenanigans. Relic immediately gets us another top deck, so I'm going to go with Relic. Play Relic. I mean, I could just let it sit on board for a while. Just like tap Tower, put a counter on Ballista, and then attack. Wow! They are trying very hard to get Murktide onto the board. I mean, okay, we can't do anything else. So opponent can, like, land Murktide, have Spell Pierce back up, maybe? Yeah, we are going to ping them. Now the plan is draw anything that we can play. Do they have Delirium? It doesn't matter if they have Delirium, because they don't have any of the payoffs. He grew too tall and was struck by lightning. There's the Murktide. They leave the Bauble in the grave, which tells me they have nothing to do with their mana. Something big, please. Thank you. Unfortunately, Ugin is just a kill spell for Murktide. If we plus, there's no way he doesn't die, right? Because they have to have a Bolter and Unholy Heat. Do I have to -7 to answer Murktide? They haven't played any other threats. And if I don't minus now, I lose the opportunity to do so. Like, we have to -7 Ugin. I am not a fan. But if their only threat is like another Murktide, then they're stuck with no clock. Blood Moon? That's a Blood Moon. Okay, we draw Wilt. I could have wilted there, but I'm going to wilt on my opponent's turn, probably. I mean, if they have a counterspell and they counterspell Wilt, that's probably fine. Because we're close to casting threats. Yeah, we're actually going to try this now. Because we can pay for a Spell Pierce, they only have 1 mana, and if we top deck something huge, we win. Play Karn. Ceremonious Rejection would get us, but I think that's it. I'm going to go with Wurmcoil, even though they can probably get Dragon's Rage Channeler to kill Karn. We have to play something and start winning the game. Okay, opponent Expressive Iteration. This does get them to Delirium, so they can attack and kill Karn. They put a Murktide Regent in the grave. Opponent shocks a Steam Vents, attacks Karn. So if they have an Unholy Heat, they can fog the Wurmcoil Engine for a turn, which I think is what's going to happen here. So go to combat, attack for 6. Okay, they do not have an Unholy Heat, or we're unwilling to use it, seeing what else we have. Sylvan Scrying. Boseiju or Blast Zone or Sanctum are all fine here. I think because we're at such a high life total, and the odds that my opponent would have another Blood Moon makes Boseiju slightly better than Blast Zone. But I can always crack this in response, so we'll play Blast Zone. That way, if they want to try and like dash a Ragavan and see if they can't get an answer off our deck somehow, Blast Zone answers Murktide. Technically, I mean, if we could tick it up to 7. Like, if they play any number of 1-drops, we can just blow them all up here and then attack with Wurmcoil. 2 turns, provided there is no Blood Moon, yes. Which I think they only play 2, so we've already answered 1. Okay, well, they gotta do something about Wurmcoil now. So we're going to attack. Okay, they do have Unholy Heat. Had I played Relic, they would have just Unholy Heated in response to the Relic, and we would have given them more information. Okay, we have 2 tokens now. The other reason to do it this way is because now when I cycle Relic, Wurmcoil's back in the Karn Wishboard. Okay, opponent considers. And I am going to cycle it at sorcery speed, even though that allows their Dragon's Rage Channeler to potentially block, because I do have mana, I can cast something else, and I can still Blast Zone. They'll counter if they can. Yeah, like, why wouldn't they? But, like, if they counter a Relic of Progenitus, is it that big of a deal? It's not like I'm doing anything else with this mana. So opponent has to have, like, multiple removal spells. Okay. They kill the Death Touch. They're probably... they have to play a Murktide to live. Or, like, a second main phase Dragon's Rage Channeler or something. Yeah, you have to attack. Okay. We go to 20. This does give them one turn. Like, we could just draw Ballista and kill them. We have several more in the deck. Okay, it's a Murktide. If this is a Murktide, I don't know that I want to put Blast Zone on 7. I can only take it up to 5. So it's actually 3 turns to get it up to 7. Or I can only... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I can only get it up to 5. I think keeping it on 1 is actually better. So I'm not going to take up Blast Zone. Okay. Play Karn. Nuke Murktide. Attack our opponent down to 1. And now I can use Blast Zone to keep Karn alive to remove their final threat. And they can't crack their fetch land. Blood Moon to Surveil, sure. We'll let them Surveil and then we'll kill the 1-drop. And now they only have mountains. So, like, they have to have a bolt for... Oh, yeah, that doesn't do anything. Good old multiple removal spell Karn. Alright. What about Relic in the main on the draw? I'm not bringing the 3rd Relic in. Yeah, I know, I wish I'd have actually done what I was supposed to in game 1. Gotta love them Moto misclicks, though. Yeah, we're just gonna run it back as is. I mean, I have Wilt, I have Sylvan Scrying, but we definitely have better 6s than this. Double Tower is not a better 6, going to 5. Alright, we're putting back Ballista and Stone. Opponent plays Scalding Tarn, fetches up a Steam Vents, immediately plays Dragon's Rage Channeler into nothing. Okay. We draw the second part of Tron, as we had planned to do. Play Chromatic Star, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Steam Vents tapped. So there's a really good chance they have Spell Pierce or they have nothing. We draw another Ancient Stirring, sack for green, see what we draw. Walking Ballista. If they're on Spell Pierce, I can just play Ballista, but then I lose my only green, so the opportunity cost is we have to Sylvan Scrying even if it's a counterspell. Okay, we get Urza's Mine. If this is a follow-up Blood Moon, then we just Walking Ballista, kill their guy. Okay, it's a follow-up Blood Moon. They hit us for 1. We draw a Forest. Okay, so play a Forest. Ancient Stirrings. Probably Stone, I would imagine. Another Ballista would be not bad. Another Karn is also not bad because we're at 4 mana. I think I'm going to take the Stone as kind of the backup plan. Play Ballista on 1. So I can play another Ancient Stirrings alongside Stone, which is why I took Stone rather than another Karn. Okay, opponent has Jace. So they're probably going to have answers to everything that we play until the end of the game. So we draw Relic. Let's play Mine. Play Stone. Play Relic. It was probably better to play Ancient Stirrings alongside that Stone than Relic. Because then I could guarantee the 5th land drop, or near guarantee it. Opponent is going to Fate Seal us. They're probably checking if they have to answer stone or not. That's probably what this is. They left it on top, so they're not worried about it. Is this an Abrade on stone? It is a Ragavan. Okay. So they want to take whatever is on top of our deck. Another Oblivion Stone. Why would they leave that on top if they were going to Ragavan? Why wouldn't they hit us with Ragavan and then Fate Seal if they were going to do that? That doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, we untap, we draw Chromatic Sphere. So unfortunately I have to Ancient Stirrings. I do get Boseiju, or I can get a Tron land. They probably can answer this stone. So if I take Boseiju, that's a guaranteed answer to Blood Moon because they can't counter it. I can't really play it this turn because of, like, Sphere would have to resolve. Yeah, we're going to take Boseiju. Play Sphere. Okay. Pass the turn. So they, like, gotta have an answer for stone. I mean, I guess they don't have to, but... They're gonna dash Ragavan, sure. They hit us for 2. I guess as long as they don't hit Wilt. Okay, they hit an Urza's Tower. They're gonna Fate Seal us again. They leave it on top. This time they did it in what felt like was the better order. Okay, they pick up Ragavan. Sack Star for green. We draw Sanctum. Boseiju Blood Moon. They get a Steam Vents untapped. We untap. We draw Power Plant. So we have 8 mana. We can go up to 10. It's going to cost 5 to Oblivion Stone and 4 to play Karn. And then 1 to sack Relic. So... play Power Plant. Cycle Relic. We get an Ugin. That's a good follow-up. We are going to sorcery speed this. Get rid of their treasures and their Jace. And then I want them to spend a counterspell on Karn Great Creator, basically. Okay. To play around another Blood Moon, we're going to get Wurmcoil Engine. Because we have 6 mana and can play a Wurmcoil next turn. Cast Karn, get Wurmcoil, pass. I guess that was reasonable. And then you could have put a counter on Karn. The problem is I was expecting Karn to get countered. Opponent gets a Bauble. Plays a Bauble. They can't activate it. Opponent says, oops. So they dash Ragavan. They attack us to 6. They exile a forest. We untap, we get a forest. Okay, for extra safety's sake, we are going to get Chalice. Put it on 1. Trinisphere? I think Chalice is better. We die to double bolt. Chalice stops bolt. Both die to Abrade. So even if he's got lightning bolt right now, we're still not dead. I guess if he's got... no, because he'd have to bolt Karn and then bolt us. Okay. Play Sanctum. Play Wurmcoil. So unless he's got Ceremonious Rejection, we're fine. Which, I haven't seen anybody play Ceremonious Rejection in, like, a year. They can't Unholy Heat, they can't Lightning Bolt, they can't Cantrip. They can't play Ragavan, they can't play Dragon's Rage Channeler. Opponent has to have Abrade, Lightning Bolt to kill us. Which is not impossible. They throw Channeler into Chalice. Throws Bolt into Chalice. Does a Murktide to stay alive. Throws Ragavan into Chalice. Plays Murktide Regent. So I think it's time for the Ugin removal spell. Play a forest. Play Ugin. And we win the match. Woo! All right. Okay, we're going to stop the recording temporarily until the next match starts.
Happy birthday!
Welcome back to round 4, everybody. And thank you, Surge Modular. I would like to play first. We are Tron. This is Mulligan. This is better. Still a Mulligan, though. Okay, I can work with this. We'll keep. We're putting back Wurmcoil, and we're putting back Chromatic Sphere. Start tower. Star. Pass the turn. Turn on auto records. As in turn off auto yields. Is that the meme? Yeah, we're round, 1 win, 2 losses. Alright, we're against Amulet, so we're about to have a bad time. Let's crack Star for green. Ancient Stirrings. Oh, no. Well, we have to take the land. We don't have a choice. Oh, man, and we were on the play. We really needed to win this if we were on the play. Okay, Saga ticks up to 2. Yeah, Tron has a absolutely atrocious Amulet Titan matchup. But it plays Crumbling Vestige. They untap it. They add green. They play Grazer. They play Castle. So they can Saga a token this turn now because of that. We draw not a Tron land. Sack Star for green. See what we draw. Blast Zone. Blast Zone is too late. Way too late to be relevant. Play Sphere. Get an Ugin. Yeah, we're just toast. There's no way. So, like, my opponent has to have nothing, and we have to draw, like, Karn and beat them that way somehow, but I just don't see that happening. Because we're so far off of Tron, I think it's better to play Walking Ballista. Yeah, that's true. Like, I can blow up multiple amulets and a Grazer, but, like, there's no way we're beating this, I don't think. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and make the best options I can, and I'm not gonna quit early, but so we were on the play versus Amulet, which is our best chance of winning a match versus Amulet, and our opener was just so atrociously bad. I'm glad we didn't open a prediction for this one, because believers would be mad. Oh yeah, we're done. We're so done. The only way that we don't lose this is if somehow my opponent summoners packs and just beats themselves. Which I've seen happen. It's just not something I think most people will do. I don't know what's taking him so long to decide. He's probably got to activate Castle and leave red mana back. Or he's got nothing and he's just exploring. They'll take 2 Boseijus, don't worry. Oh, man. Oh, so it's Turn Timber Symbiosis? Nope, just a whole bunch of explorers. Triple explore. This would be hilarious if they have nothing after all that. Okay, so they're going to transmute for Titan. It'd be funny if he had nothing and was just trying to pressure me into conceding. Okay. Yeah. Technically, they could stack the lands wrong. I'm not going to make them play it out. So, Wilts and Force in. And Ballista does not strike me as good in this matchup. Because nothing it can actually kill matters with the exception of Azusa. And they combo off after they play Azusa. Way before we can even play Ballista on 2. So I think Ballista's coming out in its entirety. Oblivion Stone still seems relevant. Wurmcoil Engine, not so much. We'll put one in the Wishboard. And then I guess I drop a Relic. So we are on the play, but we lost game 1, so we will be, if we win this, we will be on the draw for game 3. Basically, the only thing we can do that matters is, like, turn 3 Karn, take a land. If my opponent starts Saga Amulet, Force of Vigor is amazing, and this is a reasonable Tron hand, so I'm going to try this. Really strange that Amulet is absent in my local meta. If I recall, it's a very expensive deck in paper, and it's very difficult to pilot. Nice, Derek. There's been several times, by the way, that Amulet has by far been the best deck in Modern. But like the pilot skill necessary to know all of the possible top end is not something I think the average human being can do. Let's play a forest and we'll play a sphere. We have no intent on cracking map yet. Opponent bolts themselves for turn timber. Explores. Opponent kept a weird hand. Yeah, I could see that being a thing. Okay, let's cycle for green. We draw an Ugin. Okay, we draw a power plant. So next turn we can play Ugin or we can play O-Stone. Well, it kind of depends on what they do exactly. Opponent explores. And they're just playing out lands. If we can draw a Karn, power plant tower, let's go get mine. Hey, that's okay, Tarek. I appreciate the fact that you subscribed for so long. It means a ton to me that you have. Okay, we have 2 lines. We play mine in either one of them. We technically have 3. One's just really bad. We can Ancient Stirrings, and we can try and hit Karn. I appreciate that. We can Ancient Stirrings and try and hit Karn, take out, like, the bounce land, and then they can't play Titan. Or we can play Oblivion Stone and preemptively answer Titan. If we Ancient Stirrings and get a Tron land, we can play Ulamog next turn, which might be enough to recover. And if they don't go for... They don't have any amulets. If they go for, like, the double Saga pickup, we can still force. I think the Ancient Stirrings into Karn play is the higher upside play and the one that gives us the best chance of winning. So I'm going to try and do that. We got it. Pass the turn. Opponent cracks Windswept Teeth. Gets Forest. Untaps. If we top deck a Tron land, we win. Impossibly, almost unbelievably, we would win. Okay, opponent plays Gruul Turf. Picks up a Forest. We untap. Oh my gosh. Sorry I didn't update the match counter. That's going to have to become a new habit. Okay. We got there, but just barely. Believer sad, no prediction. We have to somehow win on the draw. Alright, everybody pray we get a great opener. Like, natural Tron Karn with Force backup. Like, we have to have an amazing hand, or our opponent just has to, like, keep a awful hand after mulliganing to 2 or something. We're seriously, like, 95% chance to lose here. That's how hard this matchup is. And I don't mean to, like, sound like I'm on tilt or daunted. I'm not. I'm trying very hard to win. I just want to impress upon people watching who don't watch me normally that this is not an easy game, and I will not be surprised if I lose. We have a Wilt. We have 1 piece of Tron. We have 2 Karns. So we can cycle Star and, like, take out an Amulet, possibly, but if they have a fast hand, this does nothing. In addition to, like, proactively or reactively. I think I'm going to mulligan. Okay, this is worse. We're going to 5. Okay, we got to keep it. We are putting back Karn and Star. Okay, opponent starts Windswept Teeth. They crack Windswept Teeth for Forest. They play Grazer. Grazer puts Onwear Battlements in play. We draw Sylvan Scrying. That does make our hand a little bit better. We play Urza's Mine. Would have put back the 2 Karns. Maybe we needed the cantrip. I was just banking on Force being good. I was hoping my opponent would start, like, Saga Amulet in turn 1. Opponent plays Expedition Map. Garen Brig. Okay. We draw Karn Liberated. So Forest, Sylvan Scrying. Let's go get Power Plant. Hope to draw a tower. Hey, Dry Bomber, how's it going? Been a while. Feels like, anyway. Good to see you. Opponent gets a Simic Growth Chamber. They untap. Fair enough. I hope the job hunt is going well. Opponent plays Dryad. That's never getting better. Okay, it's all down to top decking a land. Specifically, tower would be best, but I might be able to make Great Creator work. Okay, opponent explores. They play Simic Growth Chamber. And an Arboreal Grazer, putting a Forest back into play. And a Radiant Fountain. Tron, one time, show me that Urza's Tower, please. It's a star. Well, we're not doing anything else. Tower, please. Thank you. Oh my god, thank you. Tron gods, you smile upon me this day. Get Liquimetal Coating. Stop on my opponent's untap. Shut off Growth Chamber. Oh my god. Oh. Opponent explores. We are witnessing an actual miracle right now. We had to cycle for that. Oh my god. I cannot tell you how few times that has happened. We've not won yet either. I don't want to talk like we've won because there's still the possibility that opponent has been paying attention. Okay, opponent, I think picked up a Forest, was it? Yeah. Okay, alright. Let's hope Karn resolves. I don't think they play like Pact of Negation or anything, and even if they did, they wouldn't pay for it. The opponent's hand is Forest, one unknown, probably Titan. The Tron gods gave you a birthday present. Yeah, not really. Opponent replays Forest, we untap. If they had Titan, they could have played Titan. Okay, blow that up. Play Sanctum. Play Karn. Sack Sanctum. Get Ulamog. Oh my god. Oh, I was so stressed there for a moment. I can't believe we got it, but we got it. Wernix, thank you for following. Picked a good time to show up. It's not my birthday, Wernix, not you too. Oh, man. All right. Round win. Update. Reset. Oh. Wow, that command hasn't come out in a while. Alrighty. Welcome to round 5. I've hit the record button. We'll call it getting even for that other thing that D-Slayer did. He knows. He knows what he did. We've got 2/3 of Tron and a Karn Great Creator on the draw. With 7 cards, we don't do anything if we don't draw. I'm going to keep this. Opponent starts... Alright, well, we drew Natural Tron. Pass the turn. This is probably Polymorph. We draw Boseiju, who endures. Play Power Plant. Pass the turn. As long as my opponent doesn't go Teferi into Polymorph Emrakul on my turn, we can kill it with Oblivion Stone. Oh, it's probably the Glimpse deck? That makes sense. If it's the Glimpse deck, I probably start by grabbing Trinisphere. Imperial Recruiter. Alright, well, we're gonna find out. It's not Polymorph. Why am I not holding Natural Tron? We drew it. I just didn't keep it, you know? Gal, man. Let me be the silver medal sometimes. I don't always have to take the gold. If that was the case, I'd stream once a year. And it would probably be a live replay. Alright. Play Karn. Chalice or Trinisphere? Probably Trinisphere, right? Because if I Trinisphere, then I can wish kill Karn and get Sundering Titan to follow up. Yeah, I think Trinisphere is slightly better here. Yeah, I agree. It is definitely Glimpse. There's an Omnath. They can attack Karn for 1, that's fine. We draw another tower. I mean, we still just go Sundering Titan, right? Nuke all their lands? Like, Omnath's a problem, but thank you for the encouragement, Dry Bomber. Alright, pass the turn. Glimpse folds easily if your opponent figures you out fast enough. I don't know, I haven't actually played against this deck enough, so I appreciate you guys calling it out in chat.
He's already dead.
If I want to be real fun, I can Boseiju my own Sundering Titan. I imagine that's technically a legal play. Alright, so we're going to start attacking. Opponent does not block. I think we're just going to cast an Ancient Stirrings here. Because if I get like a... I was going to say if I got a Ugin, it would be game over 100%. I guess I just take O-Stone. Play O-Stone. Pass the turn. So, okay. I don't know if I want to put a Fate counter on Sundering Titan, because I might actually want to blow it up. Okay, opponent's going to gain life. They're going to add a bunch of mana, so they have a ton of mana. If they cascade into Glimpse, we just crack O-Stone, right? We'll make them pay for Glimpse. We make them pay for Glimpse, they put it on the stack. Then we blow up the world, take out their lands, and what do? Because they have no lands to shuffle back in? Oh, they get an Imperial Recruiter. Okay, they reveal another Seasoned Pyromancer. We untap. We draw Expedition Map. Let's start by cycling Star. Just O-Stone again? Probably. Ancient Stirrings. Alright, I can do you one better. Get an Ugin. Rest at the bottom. Yeah. Play an Ugin. -3. And Sylvan Scrying. Get a Sanctum. Pass the turn. Kano or single, that play was hot. Flawless victory. Alright. Okay. What do they play out of the side? Glimpse of Tomorrow. What decks run this? Glimpse combo in Modern. What does their sideboard look? So they try to cascade into... Some of them try and cascade into Emrakul. Other ones just make tons of tokens. They'll play counter spells, it looks like. Or Artifact Hate. It doesn't look like they play anything that we need the Artifact Hate for. Am I wrong on that? I don't know that I have a sideboard for this. Like, I can put Chalice in the main deck and just drop it on 0 if it's in my opening hand. Because they're going to be on the play. But I also might want to wish for Chalice with Karn. It does sound like a run it back. Alright, we'll try running it back, and if we get utterly blown out by something, then we'll learn. This is a mulligan. This is not great, but not terrible. Do they play Moon? I looked at the most recent 350 lists. None of them play Moon. One of them plays Fulminator. I'm going to keep this, and we're going to put back Forest. Opponent does start by revealing Chancellor of the Forge. They hit us for 1. We draw another star. Play Star. Pass the turn. They hit us for 1. We untap. We draw Sylvan Scrying. So sack Star for green. 2 we draw. Another Sylvan Scrying. Tower. And we are going to Scrying. We're not going to Ancient Stirrings. Let's go get Power Plant. It doesn't really matter. Next turn we can Star Scrying for mine. Okay, opponent plays an island. Imperial Recruiter. I guess we know they have the Chancellor of the Forge, but they get a Shardless Agent. They hit us for 1. That's fine. We draw a Sphere. Play Power Plant. Star. Star for green. We get an O-Stone. Scrying. We'll go get Urza's Mine. Pass the turn. As long as it's not a kill here... Okay. They take out a Power Plant. I was going to say, as long as this isn't a kill here, we should actually be okay. Because, like, I know that they do have some ways to win the game on the spot. Like, they loop Forge enough or whatever. We get another Power Plant. Rest of the bottom. Play Star. Pass the turn. But, like, if they don't kill us, if they just put powerful stuff into the board, we blow up the world and we're fine. Okay, they evoke a Wave Sifter, so they're probably going to go for it here. Okay, there's the Shardless Agent. They cast Glimpse. They put a bunch of stuff into play. Only 1 land. They did get a Fulminator, so O-Stone is not a recovery mechanism here. Opponent discards Fury and Chancellor. Gets a bunch of hasty 1/1s. Casts a Wave Sifter. Yeah, that might kill us, unless they have 6. We go to 1. Okay. Alright, they had double Fulminator. I think I'm going to put Chalice in the main deck. And I'm going to cut a Wurmcoil Engine for it. I don't think this is generally a correct thing to do. I've heard arguments for both sides. No, Trinisphere stays in the side. Okay, not keeping that. You know what? Sure. Opponent starts Gemstone Caverns. They reveal Chancellor of the Forge. They're probably going to exile Chancellor. Yep. So I can't play around Spell Pierce, but I can do this. Oh. Yeah, no, I can't do it. No, I don't have to worry about that. Force is what I meant? Yeah, I can't play around Force. That's totally what I meant. Okay, opponent looks at that for a long period of time. Play Sphere, pass the turn. There's the Force. Every time. See? That's why Chalice isn't good. That was the whole start of the rant. Okay. Doesn't change how fast we assemble Tron, so I'm going to play Power Plant on the off chance we happen to top deck mine. Okay, they go for it. They hit lands, it looks like. So they kind of whiffed. They go in for it again. Okay, Recruiter. Shardless Agent. We untap. We draw a Relic. Well, this is really our only play. Okay, opponent plays a Wooded Foothills. There goes the Shardless Agent. They get the Fulminator. Gross. So they hit us for a bunch. Sorry, I keep forgetting to update the match. Oh no, I'm not tilted by it. Okay, they're going to take out the tower. We untap. We draw Sylvan Scrying. Nuke the graves. Well, we need tower. Can they deal with an Ugin too? Play Ugin. -4. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a tap land. Shoot them for 2. Play Karn. Wish for Chalice. Chalice on 0. Play Ballista on 2. Pass. Part 5 piano playing intensifies. Okay, opponent plays a Fury. They can kill Ugin this way. They're going to ping Walking Ballista for 1 and put 3 damage on Karn. Okay. Oh, I thought it was 5 damage, not 4. Sorry. Opponent has 1 card in hand. I can either play it safe or I can start attacking their mana base. We're probably winning with damage. I think we're doing this. And just even if they cascade... Oh, I should have taken out a Colony Garden, I think. Okay, it's a Wave Sifter. They draw an extra card and play a land. Play another Karn. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Stomping Ground. We untap and draw Sylvan Scrying. Shoot them for 2. Or shoot them for 3, excuse me. And they scoop! Woo! Round win! We got there. We will be on the draw for round 5. This hand is not terrible, but we are against a Yorion deck. I think we need to be a little more proactive, probably. So I think we're going to mulligan. This hand is worse. Going to 5. Much better. We will keep this. And I think I put back Scrying. It's Scrying or Stirrings that I put. And the only reason I say that is because Prismatic Ending onto Expedition map would suck. Let's put back Ballista, actually. Oh, I gotta put 2 cards back. I know we need threats, but I think I need to keep this Scrying, so I'm gonna put back Stirrings. And we're gonna lead on map. Okay. Sorry, I did not close that immediately. Okay, opponent plays Ragavan to start. We untap and draw Sanctum of Ugin, so play Power Plant, play Expedition map, pass the turn. Hey, Toki, how's it going? Opponent hits us with Ragavan, exiles Urza's Mine, which wouldn't have been a bad top deck for us. They crack Misty Rainforest. They get a Hallowed Fountain. Go to 14. And they play Time Raveler. So map is less useful. We draw Ugin. So play Tower. Why did I F6? What possessed me to do that? I was like, oh yeah, that's all we have to do, just F6. Alright. Opponent hits me with Ragavan. They exile a Karn Great Creator, which I really hope they can't play. They can. If they play Karn, we have to top deck mine. They do. I mean, I guess if we top deck a green source, it's okay, but... Okay, they wish for a Relic. We do not top deck anything that matters. Play those things out, pass the turn. Opponent upticks Fairy to 3, hits us with Ragavan, we go to 14. If we top deck mine, we're golden. Well, we're not top decking a Karn, so I guess that's good. Opponent plays a Relic, that's what they wished for. We untap. Never mind, we are top decking a Karn. Pass the turn. Are we beyond dead? Because if we top deck mine and I can just go Ugin, we win. They waste a Prismatic Ending. They crack Flooded Strand, get a Triome. Okay, the Spreading Seas probably does it. We're still going to play it out, of course, but they're going to start beating down with a Relic. They exile another Karn Great Creator, which, I mean, to be fair, would have been an awful top deck for us. They don't waste their mana to play him. We draw Boseiju, who endures, so we play that. We Sylvan Scrying. We have 3 mines and 3 towers left, so I don't think it matters which one we get. I'm going to get a mine just on the off chance that we get like an Oblivion Stone and happen to use it somehow. Oh, I threw this game. Completely threw this game. An opponent is killing me, death by 1,000 cuts. Okay, opponent exiles an Ugin, and they can play it if they have a land. Expressive Iteration. Abundant Growth. It didn't matter, you're watching his stream. Oh. Renin 6. Well, don't tell me anything about it, because I will be mad. I don't want to cheat. Opponent fetches up a snow-covered forest into an Abundant Growth. Another Spreading Seas. Okay, we draw Karn. So, play mine. Play Karn. Do I have anything that helps here? I guess Ballista, if I survive. Pass the turn. Yeah, Sigma. If anything, Sigma's feeding him. Oh, this guy's an idiot. You don't have to worry about him. He's holding all this good stuff. Refuses to play it. Okay, opponent attacks me with Ragavan. We go to 6. He exiles a forest. Okay, Prismatic Ending on Karn. Upticks Teferi to 6. Sure. We untap. Alright, opponent. Here we go. Can you beat the double Ballista on? Yes, he can. He's got 6 cards in hand, and like... Alright. I'll play your game. Wurmcoil to the side. Relic. I don't think I need Relic here. I'm gonna reverse sweep now. That's awful confident of you. Ulamog is important. We do already have an O-Stone in the side, right? We don't. O-Stone also seems important. I am going to put one in the side, I think. And then I think I have to cut a Ballista. It's either a Ballista or an Ulamog, and I don't think cutting Ulamog in this matchup is good, so I think I cut a Ballista. We'll try it like this. Alright, I'll play first. As long as I don't punt this away entirely, this should be fine. So I'm going to keep. Start Sphere, pass the turn. Opponent starts Flooded Strand, fetch, Steam Vents, Ragavan. We untap. We draw Walking Ballista. If he's got Force, playing Scrying would suck. So I think we're going to go double Power Plant into Ballista. Okay, opponent kept a 1-lander. Scrying for Tower. Not going to show him I just drew mine. Okay. Play mine. Now I have to. It's probably a Spreading Seas. Okay, it was a Renin 6. What did he pitch? Teferi, okay. Picks up a Flooded Strand. Passes. Well, we can play it. Is it good? I don't know. Okay, opponent plays Flooded Strand. They fetch. They shock Hollowed Fountain. If this is Prismatic Ending, it's fine. There are definitely worse things that could happen. Ashiok might be one of them. They're going to mill us. They didn't mill anything of any real consequence, thankfully. Okay. Okay, they mill us again. Once again, not milling anything of any real consequence. They crack Flooded Strand. Get a Snow-Covered Island. Pick up Flooded Strand. And pass. Okay. New Triomes. I kind of hope they print more non-basic hate. Yep. Okay. I mean, opponent kept a 1-lander or... they kept a 1-lander relying on Ragavan, or they sandbagged a land. And I don't think they sandbagged a land. I think my opponent kept a very bad hand. Okay, there goes one of our towers. Okay. This has nothing to do with Ashiok or Renin 6 or anything. It has everything to do with the fact that we drew nothing. It's like 4 unbelievably dead top decks. Right in a row. Opponent milled 1 card that would have mattered out of 16. Okay. Sacred Foundry. Opponent gets a bunch of mana. They cast a Ragavan. Put Yorion in their hand. Pick up a land. Hit us with Ragavan. They exiled a tower off the top of our deck? Are you kidding me? That's fun. Okay. Opponent has a counterspell. That's kind of what we cared about. That's why I did that. Alright, we can still top deck tower. Maybe have a chance. Finally. Infinite counterspells. It's fun. Okay, we take 6. Well, that's not a top deck that would have mattered. What, opponent plays Yorion, flickers Ashiok so they can continue to mill us in addition to beating us down? There he is. Yorion. I can stop them from drawing cards, except if they're holding a single land, I can't. So... Okay, yeah, that's fine. Opponent could be playing anything right now and I would be upset. I'm not mad about my opponent. I'm not mad about their deck. I'm mad about the fact that I top-decked literally 6 blanks in a deck that is built around top-decking. Apparently I'm not even allowed to fucking concede! Okay, Jesus. It's like the game was like, no, you must keep playing. Oh, fuck. Moto is quality programming. Oh, alright. That, I'm pretty sure, takes us out of any possible prize, right? Hang on, let me check. So there are a couple people who are 3-3 that are still playing. How high do you have to place to get anything? 128. Oh yeah, doubters win. I'm gonna restart Moto because it's apparently freaking out. So 128, there's, let's see, 98 matches currently still playing, which means there's about that many people times 2 in the game. So what is that, 196? Okay, I'll play at least one more match. I mean, like, that's bound to happen, right? Especially in a long tournament like this, odds are you'll see at least one game like that. And it has nothing to do with the fact that, like, what our opponent was playing. It has nothing to do with our opponent. It has everything to do with the fact that occasionally Tron beats itself. All right, welcome to round 7, everybody. And I would like to play first. Why not play Rock with Tarmo? Because then why are you playing Coffers? Just play a better mana base. Like, that's the thing, right? The premise is Kano build 2-color Coffers. Okay, but do all these things that aren't Coffers. Like, so you're just saying play a better deck and put Coffers in it is what half of the arguments are. So, okay. Did my opponent mulligan? They revealed, I think, Kahira. So their control. If they're control, I do want to go to a better 5. This is a better 5. Not an amazing 5, but it is a better one. And I'm going to put back, I think, Scrying and Stirrings. Pass the turn. Opponent starts Hollowed Fountain, tapped. Alright, we happen to top deck Natural Tron. So we play a Walking Ballista. Double white. Chalice on one. Not much I can do about that. So that's fine. We draw another tower. Play tower. Play Karn. Nuke a land. Go to combat. Attack for 1. I mean, it's been relatively medium. We had a pretty sick recovery from Amulet Titan earlier. And then we had a couple of really bad beats. Okay, white-blue. This could be a Spreading Seas. March. I am actually going to let them exile Ballista. The 1 damage probably isn't going to matter. And then we can just wish for it. Untap. We draw a Sphere. So... play Sphere. Oh, that's right. Never mind. Just uptick Karn. Maybe I have to get Bridge later. Who knows? It's not too big of a deal. Like I said, it could actually matter for like an Ensnaring Bridge play way late game. I think in the general sense, it's probably worth holding it. Okay, opponent plays Blood Sun. So they are the Lotus Field deck. Okay. So now the question is, do I take out Blood Sun or do I take out a land? And it kind of depends on whether or not they have Lotus Field in hand and something to do with it. If I hit a land and they have Lotus Field and like Teferi, then they can just play and tuck Karn back into the deck, which would be very, very brutal. I think I have to hit Blood Sun. This does open me up to Fury, but they would have to evoke to play Fury. Okay, opponent has another Blood Sun, plays a land. We get a Blast Zone. Opponent has 4 cards in hand. If I take out Blood Sun and they have another untapped land into Teferi, then we lose Karn anyway. If I downtick on mana and they have Lotus Field, Scalo94, thank you for following. I appreciate that a lot. I think the only thing I can realistically do is uptick. That's going to give me the most value here. Blast Zone can take out 0 drops, provided I get rid of Blood Sun. So I could get rid of that Chalice, actually. Maybe that was what I was supposed to do. Okay, there's Seachrome Coast. This is probably Teferi. Cryptic, bounce Karn, and draw. Interesting. So they must have Force? Play Karn again. So they have 3 cards in hand. The other option is I can down tick on Blood Sun. No, it doesn't. It doesn't turn off mana abilities. It turns off all other abilities. Tron's abilities are mana abilities. It stopped Blast Zone from entering with a charge counter. So I could actually Blast Zone to unlock my hand, and that might give me more to work with here. So I'm going to go for that. This does kill Karn to a Bolt, which I don't know if they play, to be honest. Okay, opponent plays Flagstones. Blow up Chalice. Untap. We draw another Scrying. Uptick on our opponent's hand. Oh, Bolt is Chalice, I see. Yeah, I should have done that at a different time. Play Sphere. Cycle it for green. Okay. Wurmcoil Engine's good. Sylvan Scrying. Let's get Sanctum. Play Sanctum. Play Wurmcoil. Flagstones, Blood Suns, and Ombo. Yeah, Flagstones is if they want to play Lotus Field without Blood Sun. It's that particular combination's technically a non-bow, but it almost never matters. Okay, opponent does have a Solitude. They exile Wurmcoil, that's fine. They put Kahira into their hand. They play Kahira. This forces us to uptick Karn if we want to keep him alive. Except he's going to die anyway to opponent just attacking. Okay. We untap. We draw Forest. So I have Boseiju. That doesn't really help. At least I don't think so. So the question is, do I trade Karn for their attack and a card in hand, or a threat on board? I think the card in hand is more valuable, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I should probably try and waste their options, because like we can deal with creatures in a bunch of ways. Well, they gave us March. Okay, so we crack map here. So I can either get more mana or I can get Boseiju, which I think I should because there are technically things that I could hit with it that might matter. So I'll play out a Forest, and I'm not going to cast the Sylvan Scrying. Okay, opponent goes to combat. They attack Karn for 7. Karn dies. We untap. Draw Chromatic Star. So play Chromatic Star. Cycle it for green. Ugin. Okay, Sylvan Scrying. Get another tower. Play tower. Play Ugin. Cryptic again. Okay, that's unfortunate. Sack Sanctum. Get Ulamog. Opponent untaps. They draw. They play Teferi. They uptick him. Attack us for 7. We go to 19. We draw another Sylvan Scrying. Cast Ulamog. Exile Teferi and Solitude. Okay, Sylvan Scrying. Get another Forest, so we still can play Boseiju if we have to. Pass the turn. It's probably going to get Solituded. If it doesn't, they lose. They could Teferi Tuck or like 3-mana Teferi Bounce, I guess. Okay, they have a second Teferi. That makes... Oh no, they have a Solitude. I forgot that's another 5-mana threat. Okay. So away goes Ulamog. We gain 10 life. So we at least have a bunch of time. That's at least 1 extra swing. They don't typically play 3-mana Teferi. That's good to know. Okay, we top deck nothing. You played this matchup and found it annoying? I could see that. Opponent goes to combat, attacks us for 7. Also welcome Frank III. Opponent hits us for 19. Do they play Ragavan out of the side for the Tron matchup? I guess there's no reason to do that now. Okay, now there is. Play Sphere, cycle. Play Star. Cycle. Play Wurmcoil. It's something. Okay. Opponent has a response. Memory Deluge. Okay. Opponent's turn. They untap. They evoke Solitude. Not sure why they didn't just cast it. Oh, they want to flashback Memory Deluge, that's why. Okay, that makes sense. We found Karn. Play Karn. This is either a counterspell or Memory Deluge in an attempt to find one. They have a Cryptic, okay. Pass the turn. Valakut Awakening. Yeah, I feel like we need to disrupt them sooner. And just land a big threat. Because if we get to this point of the game, we're almost certain to lose. It's not impossible. Like, you know, if we find, I guess, another Ulamog, wipe their board, and they don't have a counter for him, then maybe it matters, but... Okay, Fury. Opponent Legend Rules of Flagstones. We untap. We draw a Relic. Play Relic. Tron might not be powerful enough anymore. Well, maybe. You might be right. At least green Tron, anyway. Okay. We were dead on the swing. So Wilt and Force come in. So do the other Ulamogs. Wurmcoil is useless. Relic matters because they have Memory Deluge. We need to keep Ballista in case of Ragavan, but it's also a decent way to deal with Solitude and such. So what do we take out? I guess it has to be Relic. Like, we can't counter everything they do. We have to kind of pick and choose, and I think I would rather be more threat dense with the extra Ulamogs. Karn is important. Both versions. I'm going to put an O Stone in the Wishboard, drop one Ballista. I'll keep the other two. Probably 2 Force, yeah. Let's do that. Alright, we'll play first. Okay, let's... We got a mulligan that. Alright, I mean, if I have to keep a hand... Mine. Power Plant. Karn. They probably have a Bolt for him, so we need to grab something that's going to be punishing. And... I'm thinking I'm going to take Sundering Titan. Trinisphere. No, I'm banking on my opponent having March. So, like, anything that isn't a massive threat is a problem. I'm going to force that so they don't end up untapping with 6 mana. Okay, play Blast Zone, uptick Karn. We're only blowing up 1 land, but it's probably worth... Pass the turn. Okay. Whew. Do we adjust for being on the draw? I don't think so. Let's run it back. I feel like my play today has been relatively good, with the exception of like the 2 major punts that I did, which were just like silly mistakes. But in terms of like picking lines to go down to try and win the game, I'm kind of above average today. Which I know sounds like, I know I've made dumb mistakes, but I'm playing better than usual. If I were to strawman myself, but yeah, variance has been terrible. But we had a couple of good highlights, so I tend to have that effect on people. It's no Caprian. If you want to see more Tron content, if you're not from my YouTube, I have a YouTube channel with a lot of Tron content on it. Oh, awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in. It's glad to have you here. Why Ulamog over Kozilek? This isn't my list originally, but I wager it's because whoever built it valued the permanent destruction cast trigger over the draw trigger. I always thought that Kozilek's 10 mana over the 11 mana mattered a lot more. I still kind of do, but he's indestructible at least. Like, Kozilek has died to some silly stuff when I've played him before, so I figured I'd give this a shot. A lot of things that have been happening... both with the Coffers deck and other decks that I've played lately have caused me to drastically reevaluate what I consider good and bad in the modern format. So there's stuff that I would normally down talk and call very silly that I think is, well, worth it, I suppose. So we are keeping the 7. I know I was talking during that keep, but even if they have Prismatic Ending or March and they answer Expedition Map, like, we have a second one. Should be fine. Yeah, Null Profusion is a card that I just imagined was always worse Bolas' Citadel. Are you talking about the 3 Walking Ballista in the main? Yeah, somewhat. Okay, opponent Valakut's Awakenings. They have Crumble to Dust? I'll be really sad if they do.
Okay, Lotus Field. Opponent sacks Flagstone, so they do get to tutor out a land tapped. It's a Triome. Okay, let's go get another tower. We found an Ulamog the Infinite Gyre, so... The problem with Lotus Field is it has hexproof unless they play Blood Sun. If they do, they expose it to permanent destruction. Okay, we untap. We draw Sanctum. Sanctum's really good here. Go to combat. Attack for 10. We exile the top 20 cards of their deck. Play Sanctum. Play other Ulamog. You know what? I deserve this. I'm not going to pretend that I don't feel like I deserve that. So, okay. I would rather do the brewing, to be honest. I don't really feel like marbles right now. So, let's continue with the brew. Okay. Welcome to round 8? Is this round 8? Alright, we're on the play. I did hit the record button. Thank you so much, Sigma. I appreciate you trying to let me know. Because if I didn't, I would be very upset later. Okay. I think this is a mulligan against an unknown opponent on the play. This is definitely a mulligan. We're going to 4. Alright, we got to keep it. Going to 3 is just suicide. We have to put back Karn. We're keeping Ballista because it might give us some early game interaction. We'll start Tron Star. Or Tower Star. Pass the turn. Oh, D-Slayer, I didn't even see your message. The problem is too many of the Eldrazi are too expensive to play in a Heartless summoning deck. And the ones that aren't require colorless, which stretches the mana base even further. Just go get a Tron land, pass the turn. Oblivion Sower. There's an idea. Oblivion Sower. That is not a card that I remembered off the top of my head. Yes, Thunair, Black Lotus, Oblivion Sower could be playable. You know what would be even sicker is if we had ways to exile our opponent's stuff. Like exile their lands and stuff. Okay, we're against Glimpse combo again. Which, if they combo off and don't kill us and we top deck the last Tron land, we just beat them with Ugin. I was going to say it's good with Necromentia, it's good with Surgicling fetch lands out of the grave, because that guarantees you get a play set of lands. Ashen Rider? Are you talking about Glimpse Cascade combo, like how it wins? Because they all have different win conditions. Some try to cascade into Emrakul, other ones try to... Okay. So Emrakul does beat us, because we don't have an Oblivion Stone to deal with this. And I can't draw Karn and play Bridge at the same time. And I can't draw Karn Liberated and the last Tron land at the same time. Oblivion Sower and Coffers could be a way to deal with the mana. So yeah, unfortunately, Ugin is not enough. Wilt and Forces coming in. Wurmcoil is going out, along with a Ballista. We'll bring in only one force, and we're going to drop... Actually, I think I'm going to put an Oblivion Stone in the Wishboard. Let's try like this. Okay, alright. We'll investigate the Oblivion Sower angle after this game. But I'm going to try and focus on not losing this. I would like to play first. We have 2/3 of Tron and 3 Stirrings, along with a Boseiju. I wouldn't mind having a force, but this is really good, so we're going to keep this. Play a Mine, play a Sphere. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a tap land. We untap. We draw Karn. Okay. Sack for green. Okay, we got a force. Ancient Stirrings. Let's try and find a tower. We did not find a tower. So we're going to take Chromatic Star, throw the rest to the bottom. Play Power Plant and play Star. Pass the turn. We're really hoping to top deck tower. Okay. Opponent shocks Stomping Ground. Sure. I could Boseiju my Chromatic Star here and get like an extra draw out of it, but I don't know that that's good. Probably better that we just start casting more Ancient Stirrings. I guess I take the land. Okay. I'm not going to cast the other Ancient Stirrings here because I might need it to force. I might need to actually activate Boseiju for some reason. If my opponent doesn't hit Emrakul off a Cascade, I can Karn and then put Chalice on 0 next turn. Oh, that's right. It's opponent's only stuff. I always forget that. I'm glad I didn't try. Okay, we found an Oblivion Stone. Yeah, okay. Play Boseiju who endures. Play Karn. That would be broken if you could. We'll drop Chalice on 0. I don't think it's gonna be enough. Okay, opponent goes for the Violent Outburst. See what they flip. Nothing. Okay. This is sort of the problem with the Emrakul version of this deck. Okay, white-green. Opponent evokes a Foundation Breaker, so they're going to kill Chalice. Yep, that's fine. Okay, so probably what's going to happen here is we're going to crack Chromatic Star, Ancient Stirrings, and then wish for Trinisphere. We found another Karn. We found a tower. So play a tower. Wish. Grab Trinisphere. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent plays a Colony Garden. And passes. We draw Sylvan Scrying. Play Karn. Nuke a land. I'm leaving up 3 mana so I can pitch something to... Or I can pitch Sylvan Scrying and still cast Force. Give us back Chalice to wish for? No. Yeah. So... I can put Chalice in the main deck to drop on 0, but as you see, my opponent has answers to it already. That's because Force of Negation does. Yeah, let's just run it back. So we're at a match win and a match loss. This hand's not keepable. Opponent mulligan to 5. I think we can go to 5. They put 2 cards back. We gotta go to... I think we gotta go to 4. Okay, that works. So we gotta put back 3 cards. We can either guarantee Tron or we can cast Ancient Stirring. So we probably should try guaranteeing Tron and hope to draw something along the way. There's a decent chance this does not work. Okay, play Star. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent cracks Misty Rainforest. That's true. If D-Slayer can't read, it's probably my fault. Okay, we untap. We draw another Chromatic Star. Sylvan Scrying. Let's go get mine. Pass the turn. So opponent may Boseiju the tower here. Don't have it. Okay, I'm wondering if they're just going to spin, because they put no permanents on board. That seems aggressive, but could work. No way! Oh, this is the revenge of unexpected results. The worst part is he destroys permanents as an uptick, so it's like there's nothing you can do. Alright. Well, you know what? We gave it our try. This is, let's see. This is revenge for me playing unexpected results while in Standard. Oh, gosh. Yep. Okay, opponent. You win. Tron cannot beat repeated land destruction. So, ultimately, we ended 4-4. So, let's go ahead and drop. We're not gonna finish playing out 2 more rounds. I don't have that kind of patience. Is that Planeswalker stronger than Karn Liberated? No, he's not. Because Karn Liberated you can frequently play on turn 3. Nicol Bolas you can't. If you want to talk about raw power level, like if you could cheat them out at the same rate, maybe. I mean, his ultimate is Cruel Ultimatum, and it takes him 2 turns to get there. So blow up a land, Cruel Ultimatum. Okay, yes, but the difference is it's repeatable in Tron very, very frequently. It's not in that deck. You know, that's how that deck works. It's not a good matchup. Fits under the fast combo category, which is something that Tron does not deal with very well. So let's talk about this list really quick and just do a wrap-up for the YouTube side of things. We're going to finish off that brew after I'm done with this wrap-up, but this is just for the YouTube folks. Oh, prediction? Yeah, I guess Doubters win. Okay. Is this version of Tron fine to play? Yeah. I mean, we went 4-4, so about even. And I ranted off recording pretty frequently about this, but Sigma brought it up as something that maybe I should talk about for Tron players in Modern. And it's kind of something we've discovered in the process of working on Cabal Coffers Control, but it does sort of matter for Tron as well, so I'm going to
I'm going to talk about it now. Tron is having some trouble with Expedition Map and Chromatic Sphere and Star. The removal that is main deckable now, I mean, like, if your opponent Boseiju's a Sphere or a Star, you're pretty happy, generally, because you're just going to go get a Forest. But if they hit Expedition Map, that could throw you off of Tron. And then if you kept a hand expecting to do something on turn 3, and it was based on map, and you don't draw Scrying or another map to get it, or maybe they just need that one turn, like, it is a little bit tougher. Do I think Tron is a bad deck? No. I still think it is about the power level you need to be to win. I think it is critical that you play Karn Great Creator if you want to win. And I think that if they keep pushing artifact and enchantment removal to be easily main deckable, not out of the sideboard, really powerful, very fast, then maybe eventually Tron becomes a deck you can no longer play because your opponent is just going to have removal. It's funny for you to say that because traditionally to me, Green Tron is a deck that has been extremely resilient. It is a deck that no matter how much land destruction your opponent plays, you pretty much always have a chance of sticking something on turn 3 because of the way that land destruction works in the modern format. And generally, land destruction decks don't beat other decks, so if you face one, it's generally a one-off. It's not something you'll see common. But if they can constantly attack all of your consistency tools and always be able to destroy your sphere, stars, and maps, maybe we go back to playing Explore. Maybe we play Serum Powder to try and mulligan into all of our lands better. Maybe we just start playing, what is it called? Abundant Harvest? The 1-mana cantrip that you can draw land? Like, maybe we stop playing the permanent consistency tools and play those things. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying we should do that now. I'm saying that if we can't stick our consistency tools and constantly get to Tron and constantly draw Tron, maybe we have to go that route. I don't think Tron's dead. I think it may have gotten a little worse, but, you know, it's kind of the nature of the beast when you haven't updated, when the newest card in your deck is Force of Vigor, and everything else, the, like, most recent card that got printed for your deck was in, Kaladesh? Like, you know, we haven't gotten any updates for Tron in a while, so all in all, I thank you if you watch this on YouTube. Thank you if you're watching this on Twitch. That was the Modern Super Qualifier. We went 4-4. If you like this content, you want to see more content about Tron, about Mono Black, please consider following or subscribing to my YouTube or here on Twitch. And links should be in the Discord on various social medias. You can join us in doing some brewing there if you have ideas on how to improve these decks. We'll see you there. I'll see you guys next time.